Yo, welcome to the Will Is podcast once again. Yeah, we back in your face. Back at you, back live, back active. We're going to always be active. That's one thing I can promise you on this show. We're going to stay active. We're going to stay live. We're going to stay intriguing. We're going to be invoking at all times. Can I tell you why? Why do I? Why you want to do that, Danny? You already doing enough. Let me tell you something. It's always something to do. It's always a place where we can always go and be special. Because you have to, if you have the mental mind capacity to do so, you must do one thing: make sure we can arrive on occasion. So therefore, this show here, and on this show we ain't into wasting time. So we're gonna get into it. It's called, the whip. Hate is a waste of time show. Yeah. How is that? Yeah, because most of the time people are fueled by hate. Gotta find something to hate. Gotta find something to just disrespect. You have to find something to look down on. You want to find something to dispel. You want to find something to say you are better than. It's kind of a human condition when you're dealing with hate and why it is a waste of time. Most of the time, it seems like in this day and age, you have so many haters that haters love spending time doing what they love to do, and that's hate so much. Why you hate so much? Oh, I can tell you why. You're not constructive. You don't know how to spend your time constructive. And even if you do spend your time constructive, you may even get bored with being constructive, so therefore you have to do one thing: find the most least common denominating thing to do, and that is to pick on somebody. Why not? Who is better than doing that than voila, the invention of race of the European Middle Ages by Geraldine Hine. Of course, I'm going to hit you with some good commentary tonight because I wanted to give you a show for the globe to understand why simply I don't want to gloss over the fact that the reason why race would be invented in the first place. Why was race invented? Because someone knew their true history, nature, that someone became a race of people. That one race of people had already carved themselves out by identity because of who they were told they were in the beginning. So when a person know who they are and they know who they want to be, they begin to cosplay. They begin to rehearse. They begin to put on plays and they begin to make themselves believe in being something that is more so fitting in their mind, not how the world sees you, not how the world portrays you, but what you can think about yourself. So if you show no acknowledgement of your past, if you show no acknowledgement of what you have completely and truly done to the indigenous true classifications of the works of God, the universe, and the ancestors. Everything is trilateral. Follow me now. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. From a European as conceptual mind of how you see the concept of God. From what my complete understanding is father, mother, mother, father, child. I say again, father, mother, mother, father, child. Child, whether it carries a masculine or feminine connotation, is child. What you will learn about the female, as was discussed before with the book that Dr. Stephen A. Gould wrote. Check out my latest shows. Always remember when you when you are tuning into my page, understand that you can look at the previous shows. My previous they're all different. I don't talk about the same thing. I don't have the same mental mind construct daily to repeat myself. I have to, what you would call, expound and expand and set a proper illumination, cast a proper illumination so that you can see that I'm not a one trick pony. You understand? I don't have the same get down every day I come on this podcast, every day or every time I feel like communicating with my subscribers. I love you so much in its entirety. I truly and completely do. I promise you, I got to keep blinking because these lights, y'all want to say, people judge so much and so in particular. Did you understand I had two eye surgeries? The second one was at the age of 7. The first one, I believe it was 3 or 4. I had strabismus as a child. Look it up. Two dominant eyes. Focus both ways, get the same result, but one has to play domination, and it's a surgery that had to take place. It's called strabismus, two dominant eyes. I got teased a lot as a child about being cross-eyed and all kind of things, and you didn't know I had different types of superpowers that I could do with my eyes. It's a lot of times we are ashamed of the very thing that is your superpower. A lot of times, your ability to see. How is that such a crushing blow to me? How is that a superpower? Danny, you cross-eyed. No, I'm not cross-eyed. I see both sides of you. I can see you. Maybe I was able to see the inner you and how you really felt about me, as well as what you were displaying to me, and it crossed me up so I couldn't handle that internally. It displayed through how I saw you with my eyes. I couldn't see you fairly anymore. I couldn't see you with a focal vision. Oh, you crossed me up, so I gave you, you know, oh, damn. You think I'm gonna do it on camera just so you can make fun of me and say, yeah, look at me cross-eyed. I see it come out sometimes. Yeah, it's just when I'm feeling things. And sometimes that may display itself as, the time that I grew up, everything that could be found, every single intricate fallacy that could be found, the kids in my era, we grew up able to discover them and exploit them and use them as weapons to take down you when we felt like we'd take you down. So anything that was a weakness, I'm telling you, in the 80s and 90s, that shit wasn't for the weak hearted, man. The times I grew up in, that wasn't for the weak hearted. Boy, you crazy. Anything that could be exploited, we could do that because we use it in fights. We used it in knowing how to go both ways. We love things like special talents. And if you could display, you had them special talents like Bruce Lee. And, you had, if any black person, we always was in love with being able to get very aggressive and win at fighting and showing that we could do things that you wouldn't want to do this. But, a lot of times it was showing that I wanted to show you that I could really do what I say I can do. Give me an opportunity because I want to fight. And growing up and coming from a reservation, coming from Pensacola, Florida, period. Florida is purely it's in the culture of Florida, fighting and violence. I can guarantee you, water's delicious. But anyway, I can guarantee you, I guarantee you. Check it out. Uh, I guarantee you this. Even if there are sermons, because when I tell you I grew up in, because I'm gonna scale it back. I gotta give you a little bit more meat and potatoes before I tell you like where I'm going with this next little uh, description or example of how hate is a waste of time show. Like, check this out. Y'all know I grew up in church. It affected and still affects uh, how I see the world. How could it not? That would be like me saying, yeah, I grew up in church and my grandma was a pastor for 50 years and my aunt Brenda, she's a pastor now. And, yeah, I ain't affected. Man, please. That would be a bold face and unadulterated lie. In any way you want to put it, it would be a complete dispelment. Seriously. No bullshit. So let me explain. I grew up in church. Grandmother's a pastor. Uh, you know, sung in choirs. All that good stuff. It was a good fundamental basis. You have to understand how much quality of life you get raised reservation style. Let me explain. Fellowship, Uh, Whenever you step out of line, you don't think nobody looking at your ass, but they see you. So you get checked. You get put in back in line, in alignment. See, you get no more than no one else get. You're not special. See, you have to see yourself as special, but be careful with that because you can get a what you would call put on notice. You think you better than everybody else? You get your ass whooped for thinking you too much better than everybody else. So it's better for you to just fall in line if you want to survive. If you don't want to be exploited. So reservation style living is always being considerate, always being cordial or cordial, however you want to describe it, always being aware of your surroundings and loving your family and being in a position to contribute if you can and add. And even when you grew up in church and you was young, they taught us how to play instruments and who had a voice, who could sing, and who so they embarked on who was talented. All those things from the root you grow up with. From your core, you grow up understanding from a place of a subconscious that you develop over time and you never lose it. That's that's who I am. That's yeah. I grew up Pentecostal. I grew up American African Methodist Episcopal. I grew up Baptist. I grew up in Brother Donnie Church. I grew up in Pensacola, Florida. Yeah, I grew up at Amazing Grace Tabernacle. I grew up in the Skinners in Columbus, Georgia. I grew up with my mother made sure she kept a plethora of church. What's the other the one big cathedral in that some black doctors own. Oh man, that was another again church, and then you have Columbus plethora of churches. Atlanta, my mother, I came home. She was at the she she went into the Eddie Longs, thank goodness, because she his pupils. She went to them churches. I used to be man. I used to be coming home. I'm coming home from the Marine Corps, right? So let me tell you something, man. That's why I say hate is a waste of time. Cause it's like, oh man, I got to do my mama justice. I'm home for a 96 or a 120. Y'all service people know what I'm talking about. So we be like, yo, I'm gonna go home, but then mama gonna want me to go to church. But I'm like, I'm just leaving Club 112 at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm gonna go to church smelling like straight Hennessy and Newports, straight up. And I'm in church, so you gotta understand. I just came back from overseas, all over in Palma, Spain, Rota, Spain, Brindisi, Italy. I'm in Palma, Spain. I'm all over the world. I done spent time in Macedonia. I done spent time in Greece. And shit throw them vehicle. Man, I done spent time about the man, I done been in war and combat. So it's like my filter is gone and closed. I'm around a bunch of Marines, and every time we see a gorgeous woman, we looking at her, we get the at them Liberty ports, what go down. Like I'm a real Marine. You already know what go down having to, take care of yourself. You dig? Uh man, let me tell you how the world you understand how the world is set up. When you see a whole bunch of indigenous people still in those specific places when you are tuned and locked into, you kind of go around the corner, you're going to meet the locals. You know what I'm saying? You take a bus trip, you're gonna meet the locals. You eat some food, you're gonna meet the locals. You're gonna have a conversation because somebody can speak English globally. You dig? Wonderful times, beautiful measures. So you already know something wrong at all times. And that's how you know the invention of race in the European Middle Ages was a cold game because even Europeans stopped buying it a long time ago. It's like they never bought into it. They bought into it for benefits because of the land masses and how broad and how the reach and also what they have learned from their icons. Love was always a fulfilling natural action, but it's what you display and what you say that lets you know, wait a minute, you act too much as if you are so akin to, you would say the Negro, but what you really mean the icon. Wow. Let's take a discovery into the invention of race in the European Middle Ages. Also, I wanted to touch back in on something. Y'all know this came into the mail. You see what that says? That says 19 white men who admitted there were indigenous black people in the Americas. That's why the terminology of black, which we all know is a color, means nothing, right? Actually, it's blanco. If you look before the, even after the 1400s, into the 1500s, after the 1530s, you would see that blanco white, or even in the European-esque uh, philosophical lexicon, even in the dictionaries, it would tell you that yeah, blanco or blanche means pale white. It serves no purpose of fulfillment in when it comes to the contributions of humanity. That's your supreme insecurity. So, what is actually written in scripture is the fact that you should always show reverence, as we all should, to our mothers and our fathers. But due to the fact that you may not carry the same complexion or same attributes, does not mean you can learn, excuse me, you cannot learn how to correct your forbidden actions. The reason why we can communicate with each other today from a global perspective through translations, because that's from human ingenuity. The Rosetta Stone. Deciphering, understanding symbols, understanding from a subconscious or a awakened DNA perspective that we inevitably have, that cannot be masked through lies and manipulation. Listen, I know people outside of my connected family from a spiritual place, so as to where I feel so connected. I feel that if I've known individuals my whole entire existence, the same way some people do with celebrities and act as if they know them, or Do you understand how close we are in proximity as far as in relations? It's only the misconceptions and persuasions of what we would call idols, not icons. I would consider myself an icon. Why? Because I can display a multitude of things that I feel, and I just so happen to know. This is not a belief for me, it's a fulfillment. This is what we do and what we're trying to understand and contribute to the planet and the world and the universe, and is give reverence to our ancestors. Because what if we were all just African Americans and forgetting our true patrons and forgetting who made us to be the American, black, Indian, the forgotten one, the one they said didn't exist. They told us we came from somewhere else. Those things are just not true. As a matter of fact, how could you have Aboriginals in Australia, Aboriginals in Asia, in Japan, and even in China? They have dark, melanated gods and ancestors and priests, as well as they do in India, as well as I have shown you time and time again, the most uh uh stick your chest out place that ever existed, that shows it trying to be or portraying itself to be more superior than melanated brethren globally, is the European. And if you think and break down the European as far as etymology and terminology, you will understand two things. European comes from Europa, which meaning a melanated goddess, African melanated goddess. And if you look at European, you look at peon, the end of the word, it means peon, not God. That means you should be grateful for every time you failed, you were saved. Maybe that was not for your good. Maybe because you are a part of a human lexicon, but that does not mean you get to solve and resolve all of your problems on the backs of the other nations and kinds of people of the world. See, you are a kind of man that never wanted to learn how to resolve your problems because you felt like lies, deceit, and being forbade and forbidding others, trying to distinguish the indistinguishable. You've never been distinguished only with your complexion. Hate is a waste of time. There's so many shows that you make boosting yourself, trotting around the plane as if you are better than everyone else when you are simply a newcomer to humanity that has yet felt to learn. I said felt to learn because you were so busy in your existence doing the inflicting. See, before your arrival, In all of the lands we've all fought. You should know better because the only way you resolved your issues were to be in conflict with others. You resolve your problems on the back of others, but you created an inheritance of hell for others only to create a haven for yourself and your likeness. Those days were shortened from their inception. It's a misnomer. The reason why white and black never should have ever been a problem because you are a child, never an original. Just like the rest of us. It just so happens that the pale complected should have always orchestrated within, and that this happened. This did happen. This the 1670s were the recent times of pale complected people fighting to create the mental mind construction and concepts of something they never realized. I hate to say it, but it's what you call intermingling and incest. The only people on the planet that can't do or practice that is the darker complected melanated. It shows. India tried it, many gods. Egyptian tried it. Again, the falls. The falls of humanity always come from mimicking and never understanding. Again, the falls of humanity always comes from mimicking and never understanding. When you teach, some students say, I'm tired of learning. I don't want to hear no more. I got it from here. And you say, wait, my son, you have yet to cut his throat. That's all I want to hear from you, old motherfucker. I got it from here. Okay, well, let's see. Why the invention of race in the European Middle Ages ever existed? I can tell you why. You invented race because you never wanted to be, or you saw yourself as the epitome of what you. That's what this book is about. You saw yourself. Pick it up for yourself. I wanted to go into parables, but I read it a couple of times. I read it. I read so much in this book that the basis of race is to position color of skin upside down due to the fact that it's a complete illusion. You used the copper middle color complected people and made sure you found that ideological mindset to say, I would like to be a default. They seem as the default standard of the world. So I must position myself to be the default. That means every medicine that is created, every ideology, like Nearly Fuller said, I showed you that book. Please, again, I tell you, go recap and look at the Will Is podcast shows. They're all relevant. None of them are the same. None of us. I said none of us. None of my characteristics. We're different. We put out different. I'm just joking. Saw me, but there are a great deal of topics that we need to discuss simply because I need your feedback. I need to know how you feel. I love the subscriptions. I'm so grateful. Globally, find the words. Find a way for us to make sure we're moving this human lexicon forward in order to bring a new nation of humanity forward. We can all be proud of our beings and existence in our lands. And it's a beautiful thing. It's raining hard over here. I hear it coming down. I'm going to shut this show down. Make sure I get it out tonight quick as I can, but I'm going to tell you like this. Hey, say it with me, for real, because guess what? Hate is a waste of time. We're too interconnected to be so separated as if we don't have a chronology of understanding. What you have to do is be less complacent, less vulnerable, grow up, appreciate, give people their flowers, and let's participate into this thing together. As a human lexicon, because we know we have a pantheon of gods, but let's get to where we can participate and show that hate, yeah, it's kind of a waste of time. I could do a part two if you want me to. Just let me know. But let's keep the hate out of it. Let's keep the value up. Let's not dirty ourselves up. Because I want you to say this with me. I always do. I always want you. Come on. Let's go. Come on. The will is yours. Yeah. Let the next time be the best.